So let's have a look at the additional configuration controls that we now have available to us in the new scheduling experience. So let's head over into settings and card styling. Now you'll see in our current configuration, we've got the job number and description selected within the tile, and the colors of each of the tiles is based on the job status. So what we're going to do is jump into our new work cards. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to update the primary card content to be the account name. And instead of the description, I would like to display my custom field called project code. And the other thing that I'd like to do is change the color customization to be based off of the type of job. You'll see here that I can select a range of different fields, both standard fields as well as custom fields, but I'm going to choose type in this instance. So here are all my different job types, and I've already assigned a range of different colors to each of those. Now we can do the same thing for unavailability as well. So if we head over into the unavailability tab, currently it's all gray. So let's update this information, and the primary content I want displayed is the type, and I think I'm going to keep that. And note that we can also change the secondary content that is displayed either to be the notes, the type, or the status. So I'm going to update this to be the status, so I can quickly and easily see if it's approved or not. But actually, to make it that one step easier, I'm going to also update the colors to be based on status as well. So now I can very quickly and easily see whether or not leave in the system is approved, is pending, or it's declined. So if I go ahead and save that now, all of our updated settings will be applied to our swim lane. So let's head back to the swim lane view, where we can see our swim lane has completely transformed with the colors that we've selected. Note how each of my different job types are different colors. And now we can also see our project code in the secondary information on the tile. We can also see that the leave that's been approved is green, and any pending leave or rejected leave will be a different color. In addition to updating the color scheme of each of the tiles on the swim lane, we also have control over the information displayed in each of the resource tiles on the left. So let's go have a look at what we can do there. If we jump up into the cog and scroll down past the initial settings we looked at earlier, you'll see that we can control the resource display here. So what I'm going to do here is disable the avatar, and I'm going to add in an additional piece of data, and I'm going to display the mobile number, which is something that's often requested. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And you'll see that my resource column here has been completely updated to remove the avatar and include the mobile phone number. Remember, the changes that I'm making here are bound to the view itself, so they only apply to the San Francisco schedule. And so let's say we have some other changes to make in a different view. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into my all safety analyst schedule in the day view that I created earlier on. And you'll see that the avatar still displays here, which is exactly what I want for this view. But actually in this view, because it's all safety analysts across all of my regions, I want to see the secondary region that all of these analysts are related to. So instead, I'm going to jump in here. You can see primary region is selected, but in this case, I'm going to choose secondary regions as well. I've now made that change, updated it, and now I can see that Anthony, Ava, Justin, for example, all have now their secondary regions displaying for me, which is exactly what I want to see for this particular view. So you'll see now how you can completely customize and control visual elements of the swim lane. Now let's look at the additional visual enhancements to the new scheduling experience. First, let's look at the improvements to overlapping jobs. Where previously overlapping jobs in the swim lane used to be stacked on top of each other, now the swim lane will expand and contract to show the additional jobs in parallel with the one that it overlaps. So you can see here with Andrew Wilson that I can clearly see both jobs here that are overlapping. We've also got some additional capabilities on the swim lane itself. You can see here we've got some calculations where we've got the scheduled time for this particular resource for the period selected, where we've got 40 hours and 30 minutes. And as we hover over the icon, we'll see the tooltip that tells us that this is for both work and activities. We've also got some time calculated to the right. Again, if we hover over this, it tells us that this is the total travel time that Andrew will be traveling this week. In addition to these changes on the Swimlane itself, you'll also notice that in the header we've got a time zone selector. This is particularly useful when supporting multi-region use cases, particularly where both of those regions span multiple time zones. So this allows us to anchor the time zone that's displayed in the Swimlane to the time zone of our choice, ensuring the schedule is presented in the way that the scheduler needs it most. Now let's go ahead and drag another job onto the Swimlane. This time, let's give this to Anthony, and we'll demonstrate here how the swim lane will expand here with the overlapping job, and the calculations will also recalculate based on the additional assignment. So now we can see that we've got the conflict that's been raised, we've got the swim lane that's expanded, and we've got the new calculation of the total allocated time and the total travel time for Anthony this week. So there you have it, some really significant upgrades in the new scheduling experience, from being able to customize the content and colors of the tiles for both jobs and unavailability, using both standard and custom fields, along with greater support for overlapping jobs, time zone flexibility when scheduling across time zones, as well as those schedule roll-up summaries to quickly inform schedulers on resource workloads.